This is the Simulation Football Minor League, presented by 8 p.m. Music on YouTube. Minor League football returns to Annapolis, and the Navigators welcome home an old foe, the Ottawa Cavalry. What will we learn from this installment of this rivalry game? We're about to find out. And good evening, everyone. I'm Tyler Falk, and welcome to Annapolis, Maryland, where this city has gone a half a year without minor league football. These players and fans are ready to get back to the action. And what a first game we have on tap for them. It's a rematch of one of the best minor league games ever played, the Season 1 semifinal. Ottawa's comeback victory was capped off with a legendary diving catch by Art Vandelay. Josh Circle joins me here in the press box. And Josh, who makes the headlines tonight?
Well, Tyler, it's very special. Annapolis, as you mentioned, coming off hiatus and getting back into the mix here in SFLm. Gene Struthers, the quarterback, is going to get a lot of help from Randy Squarebush. At halfback, he's returning for his third season in SFLm. Nick Lockett or Rain Darby, and the lovely and talented Morgan Applewhite are sure to help that offense as well. For Ottawa, Scar Patterson, Tyler, is a guy who I thought was going to go off the board in the Season 17 rookie draft. He did not. He's returning to Ottawa, and he's going to show up here in Annapolis tonight. And he's got a supporting cast as well. A.J. Conway, Gus Scott, Jatavius Callaway, and the lovely talented Dusty Rourke as well. Tyler, this is going to be a lot of fun tonight.
A lot of old faces, a lot of new faces that will introduce you tonight as we start another season of SFLm football. Welcome back, Annapolis. You will start with the football with the kickoff from Ottawa and George Murphy, as here we go. And Season 4 of the minor league is underway. The return will get started and will get all the way up to about the 28-yard line on the return. And out comes the Annapolis Navigators offense led by Gene Struthers.
Yeah, this is going to be fun for everybody, not just Annapolis and the coaching staff and the players, but also all of us watching. We're not really sure what Annapolis has decided to do. We don't know too much about the players other than Squarebush being obviously a talented veteran here in the minor leagues. He's going to get a lot of work, but when is he going to mix in everybody else?
Starts off with a handoff to his tailback, Randy Squarebush, and Squarebush can't find a way forward. He's taken down by Hay Shine, one of the linebackers there. And let's introduce you to the rest of the Navigator offense and their return to action. We mentioned Gene Struthers, the quarterback, Randy Squarebush, the tailback. Nick Lockett or Rain Darby are the wideouts, with newcomer Morgan Applewhite. She gets onto the field as she joined the Annapolis Navigators midway through the week. Good to see her on the field today.
Yeah, fresh off
play of the drive. Sorry to cut you off there, Josh. A handoff to the right side for Squarebush, and that's a much better play on second down compared to first down, and it results in a brand new set of downs. Yeah,
nice blocking there. Squarebush turning his body vertically, getting upfield. And that's something he's done a lot of here in SFL in the last couple of years, and he is keeping that reputation going.
Every journey starts with a single step. He made a couple of steps there on second down. We'll see if he gets it again here. Indeed, he does, but this time he's going nowhere. He gets tackled again at the line of scrimmage by Declan O'Rourke, one of the linebackers for the Ottawa Cavalry. He's one of the starters out there. Alongside him on the cornerback spots is Amar Brandt, Terrence Pearson. The defensive tackle is T.C. Turner, and Josh Neal plays center field in that strong safety spot. Navigators go four wide as one of the linemen jumps off sides. Struthers rolls to his right, fires over the middle, and it's nearly intercepted by Shine. But it's going to give the Navigators a free 5 yards on the offsides call.
Yeah, that is something you'll see a lot of. A lot of players very nervous. Week one here in the minors. A lot of people haven't been on the SFL server for very long at all. You mentioned Morgan Applewhite, and she's been in the SFL for all of just a few days. And then you've got some other folks here that are trying to make an impression as well. And we're not really sure what to expect from anybody here, especially when you have a brand new team, so to speak, in Annapolis.
That's the ambiguity of the minor league. A lot of things to look forward to. This league will throw you for some loopholes. Struthers is going to dump it off for Squarebush on the far side. He turns the corner and shoves him into the turf and picks up the first down, as Randy Squarebush picks up right where he left off a season ago.
Yeah, Mike Carroll getting the business end of that Squarebush stiff arm. And it's surprising to see Squarebush get this much volume early in the game. Usually in a minor league setting, you like to spread the ball around, get everybody a touch, give Struthers an opportunity to get into a rhythm. Not so far. It's all been Randy Squarebush at this point. Not that Annapolis would be complaining here. They're in plus territory.
Brother is going to again dump it off to Squarebush on the near side. Again throwing another man to the turf, and Randy Squarebush is putting his name on the highlight reel.
And he's just ripping off some outstanding runs here. And this is what you get when you have a veteran running back in this league. Showed up ready to play and taking advantage of maybe one or two defenders who did not show up to play, at least not yet.
This Navigators offense is sailing right along here on this first drive in their return. Two wide receivers near side, strong eye behind Struthers, and as a handoff, Squarebush can't go anywhere. The defense gets home as Sergeant O'Rourke gets into the backfield for his first tackle of loss for the season.
Yeah, Declan O'Rourke, who of course played in Season 3 of SFLm. Another guy who showed up ready to play, getting nice penetration around the edge there, keeping containment, getting Squarebush down in the backfield. Nice TFL for Declan O'Rourke.
Third down here for the Navigators. 4 wide, empty backfield, Struthers to throw. Looks near side on the out route, has his man, but he's going to be knocked out of bounds. They found O'Rain Darby, but he's a couple yards shy, and the Navigators will have to rue this possession and punt it away.
Yeah, in a vacuum, that would have been a nice route by Darby, Tyler. But in a third down situation like that, you got to get over the sticks or be in a situation where you can get upfield, make your man miss, and get past the sticks of that first down. Darby wasn't able to make it happen that time.
Got to Charles Doherty there, the Lone Star Glory. Yes, I am wearing my flat cap. Thank you for asking. As the punt's away from Taylor Benjamin to the near side, that's going to take a Navigator bounce, and the special teams for the Navigators is going to pin the Ottawa Cavalry deep in their own area down there at the 6. And out comes the longtime stalwart for this Cavalry offense. Scar Patterson was on to start the day.
Yeah, Scar Patterson, as I mentioned earlier, a guy who I thought was going to go off the board in the Season 17 rookie draft, returning for one more season with Ottawa. He's going to start his season in a very auspicious place in the shadow of his own goalpost.
First play will be a handoff for A.J. Conaway. In his first run, he will only maybe get 1 yard as he's tackled there by Odette Boudreau. And the Cavalry offense lines up as follows. Scar Patterson is the quarterback. A.J. Conaway, the aforementioned halfback. Gus Scott, Jatavius Calloway are the wideouts with Dusty Rourke at tight end. It's a duel of the female tight ends there, Josh.
My favorite kind of duel.
Handoff this time is going to go nowhere as the Navigators defense is able to stop up Conaway in the backfield. And again, Odette Boudreau making a solid tackle.
Yeah, defensive tackle is going to be one of those spots, Tyler, in the Season 18 draft where teams are going to be taking hard looks at guys. And very nice of Odette Boudreau to come out of the gate and make a couple big plays here on this first drive.
Now they come out with 4 wide, and they're going to hand it off, trying to catch the Navigators defense off guard. And Odette Boudreau, 3 straight plays, 3 straight tackles, and that's a quick 3 and out for Ottawa.
Yeah, Harry Hudson in there, I think, as well, getting on that tackle. And Odette Boudreau, a one-man wrecking crew for this Annapolis Navigators defense already. A very nice 3 and out, and that defense is coming right off the field.
In the shot of his own goal post, the punt's away from Aiden Loft, and return will start for Xavier Inman, who makes a man miss, and has a way to go! It might go all the way! No, he's tackled down there at the 8, and the special teams for the Navigators set up the drive deep in Ottawa territory, and they capitalize on the return.
Well, you know you're going to get great field position just where this punt is. And Inman doing a nice job, makes the first man miss. And that's, just look at the lane he has there. They got a block on the punter. And it wasn't until he got run down from behind that Inman was finally tackled. But Annapolis right now on offense is just their second series knocking on the door.
The Navigators will start this drive in excellent field position. That might be an understatement. First and goal from the 8. Struthers in the gun, backs to his left and right, and 2 wide receivers. Handoff for Squarebush, near side, has a blocker, gets another block, an excellent block will spring Squarebush free, and it's the Randy Squarebush show. In their return, the Navigators get the opening points.
And bask in the patience of Randy Squarebush, had one or two other opportunities to turn that upfield, decided to keep going to the sideline, waiting for his block, and then finally got around the defender, managed to turn that upfield to get to the pylon. That is just a very impressive run by Squarebush for a lot of different reasons.
And I've got to give massive credit, Josh, to O'Rain Darby. That unselfish play to get the initial block, bounce off the defender, and get the block to seal the edge. That was extremely fantastic play. Great heads-up play. That's a touchdown for the Navigators. Extra point is up and good, and the Navigators take an early 7-0 lead. If you're new to the SFL, the Simulation Football League combines traditional sports, esports, and a role-playing game into one. Team strategies are being executed in real time by our simulations as real-life players compete on the virtual gridiron. For more information about the SFL, visit our website at www.simulationfl.net. The SFL, we put the fan in fantasy. Kick off, and here come the Cavalry. Down to the near side goes Jamal Carter on the return, and he's taken down at the 26. And so after a quick 3 and out, the Cavalry offense retakes the field.
And they're obviously shaking their heads at this point after watching Annapolis have a very nice drive and then get a punt deep. And then, of course, punching it in there from Ottawa's own 8-yard line. Scar Patterson going to be thinking, all right, guys, now it's our turn. Let's get something going here.
Wide offset eye behind Patterson, and oh my goodness, Odette Boudreau nearly took the head off.
And this is what happens in SFLm when you've got a talented player like Odette Boudreau. He is single-handedly taking over this game. Just marvelous to watch. He has been on, without embellishment, every single tackle on Ottawa so far. And he is just crouched in that nose tackle position looking for more.
Loss of 4 on the play. Second down. Patterson over the middle to a wide open receiver. They get all the yards back and more and convert for a first down.
And Tyler, I don't know if you saw this, but they actually dropped Boudreau back in pass coverage on a zone blitz. And Scar Patterson had time to throw. Look at 64 right there in the backfield, playing the hook zone on defense. I'm not sure what that's all about, but that gave Scar Patterson plenty of time to find Gus Scott going right up the field. And Ottawa's got something cooking here on offense finally.
I'm the defensive coordinator and saw that. I'm getting rid of that play and sending Odette Boudreau on every single play, because it looks like every time Odette Boudreau gets into the backfield, they're stopping Ottawa so far early on this football game. Swing pass out to Conaway, goes for 5.
And Conway needs to get something going here as well. There are not a lot of running back opportunities in the majors. And the last thing you would want if you're AJ Conway is for the Bigs to write you off after just a bad game right out of the gate. It wouldn't be fair, but we know it does happen.
We know that Reggie Streeter has officially retired in Louisiana, so that might be one potential opportunity for one of these rookie halfbacks. Conway on the outside has a lane. He gets across the 50 and down to the 43. Excellent open field running.
And that was Derek Meerkat coming from the strong safety spot to run down Conway. And these are the kind of runs you need. And obviously it helps when you get great blocking like Conway's got here. There's another wide receiver block for you, Tyler. And then Meerkat managed to come in there and make the tackle. It was 15 yards down the field, but potentially a touchdown-saving tackle there from Meerkat.
Introducing to the Navigator defense here shortly. Meanwhile, handoff up the middle. Boudreau can't initially bring down Conway, but does get to him from behind as a host of Navigators were there to greet him. And let's go ahead and introduce you to that Navigator defense. We've mentioned a couple of times Odette Boudreau on the line. Tazzy Blackwell is the outside linebacker. King Rashad and Stuart Melia are the corners. Jerry Lee Gond and Derek Meerkat are the safeties.
It's our first night too, folks.
There we go. Scar Patterson looks near side. That's caught by Conway. Conway turns upfield, taken down by Blackwell after a short pickup. And that's the good thing about the minor league. We get used to talking about Mike Daggs. We get used to talking about Reggie Streeter and everybody else in the major league. We get to read reintroduce ourselves to all these new guys, and sometimes old guys like Scar Patterson's been here for a while, Josh. Third down.
Stars are born.
Exactly. Patterson looks over the middle into coverage, and it's incomplete, nearly picked off by Blackwell, and they'll force the Cavalry to punt.
And Blackwell read the play perfectly. Patterson has to move around in the pocket, throws it up there, had a chance to come down with it, but when you're a linebacker, catching it right in your hands is sometimes difficult. You see the head coming around there. It bounced right off Tazzy's face mask. Nobody's surprised by that more than Tazzy Blackwell, most likely.
Didn't think the ball was coming directly to Blackwell, but she was able to knock it down. Punt team's on again for the second time of the ball game, and Aiden Loft this time has a little bit more room to get this one off, just on the opposite side of the 50. Hunter will try and pin them deep, try and get a little bit of revenge last time out. However, it's going to roll into the end zone, and the Navigators will start their ball on the 20. And it was a one play, one run, 8 yards out for Randy Squarebush last time out. And so far early on in the football game, I've been pretty impressed with how Squarebush has run the football.
Yeah, absolutely. That Annapolis offensive line getting some blocks together. And Squarebush, he has had a couple missteps, a couple no gains, a TFL there by Declan O'Rourke that we saw earlier. But right now he's a straw that stirs the drink. Does he keep getting the ball, or does Struthers get other people involved?
Oh, what a grab over the middle, a one-handed grab, and it's the first time. We'll introduce you to Morgan Applewhite. She, again, only under 100 hours in the league, and she makes an incredible debut with a very nice one-handed grab.
Yeah, stretching out to get that. Morgan will realize soon enough that's a great way to get your block knocked off in the SFLm or SFL, but a very impressive grab. Welcome to the minor leagues, Morgan Applewhite. First catch on the board. Well done.
Now it's second and short, just a yard to go. 3 wideouts, and Struthers is going to go ahead and change the play at the line. Deep drop for Struthers. He looks near side. That's caught. First down, and a couple more yards down to the 34 for Orain Darby.
A really nice, crisp footwork by Struthers on that drop. You don't see a lot of refined technique in SFLm as much as you would like to. Struthers doing a nice job. Very deep drop. Finds Darby right on the sideline. That pass was right on the money.
All packing tight, the entire line. I formation, only one wide receiver out there. Power run to the near side for Squarebush. Shoulders 2 man, and he keeps going. Oh my, this kid is having some fun out there.
And that is just another inspired run. Look, see him hopping up around, up and down, like he just walked out of a candy shop. Look at that. That's a Marv Bryant getting blown up. And Squarebush continuing to lower the shoulder even as he's running downfield. That is a man that I would not want to tackle right now.
Power, says Charles Doherty. I'm thinking of a different man saying power. If any of you know My Hero Academia. Power! Oh, man. Shotgun set here on a new set of downs here for the Navigators. Struthers back to pass. Looks near side. There's Squarebush. Has another chance to get out of another tackle. He does, barely. Trying to escape Kane's shine, but he's eventually brought down after a pick of a 3.
And Squarebush really showing some versatility right now. Finesse, power, running it between the tackles, running it outside the tackles, catching it in the flats. Really, quite a clinic here by Squarebush.
5-step drop for Struthers, pass near side. How is that caught by Darby into triple coverage? He comes down with it.
I think that was Lamar Bryant going up trying to make the interception. Played very aggressive coverage on Darby. Overplayed it a little bit, and Darby came down with it.
3rd and short now here for the Navigators. Bush on the run. Squarebush gets away from 2 defenders and picks up the yards. Enough for the first down. Power football at its finest.
Now, this is really starting to look like a mismatch here between Squarebush and this Ottawa defense. I mean, the first defender is there. That should have been a TFL, but Squarebush obviously had other ideas And Annapolis continuing to move the chains.
4 wide receivers set. Struthers to throw. Looking deep over the middle into coverage. It's bat up in the air off the arms of Xavier Inman, and he can't come down with it.
That's a nice read by Struthers. Inman trying to split that cover too. On the post route, it was there. The ball was a little bit behind schedule. Would have liked to see that get there sooner. That was a really nice thrown ball. Inman just had to make a contested catch, couldn't do it.
Inman's not a usual participant of practice during the week, and that kind of shows you if you don't practice, kids, that's not the one ball you're going to bring down. Out route, far side is caught, and a quick turn upfield from Nick Lockett as he'll get his first reception of the ball game. Good enough for 3 yards.
Nice catch.
And that's going to bring us. Sorry, Josh, that's going to bring us to the end of the first quarter. Navigators with an early lead and marching down the field, or I should say sailing down the field again. You're watching the SFLm on YouTube. And Josh, let's get to your point.
Well, I think now we're starting to see the Annapolis offense get some other folks involved. Darby, without Lockett, has his first catch. Morgan Applewhite on the stat sheet with a catch of her own as well. It's not going to be all Randy Squarebush here down the stretch.
3rd and 7 from the 32. Struthers far side, nearly taken away by Josh Neal. He's had enough of this run game, and he gets to strut his stuff in the passing game as he knocks it away for 4th down.
And Struthers, after his drop, just let that one rip. Usually you don't see someone unleash the dragon that quickly, but saw that he had his receiver in single coverage and decided to let him make a play for it. It didn't work out.
Navigators also outside of field goal range. They're going to go ahead and punt this one away. Taylor Benjamin comes on the field. He stands at about the Ottawa 48. Looks like a nice punt headed toward the far corner. It's going to bounce at the A. Takes another Navigators bounce down to the 1. Then they're going to mark it down there at the goal line. Excellent special teams coverage again.
And that's kind of wild, Tyler. I thought that Annapolis player was standing in the end zone when he touched the football down inside the 1 yard line. It looks like they're going to let that stand. And Scar Patterson, who had a hard time starting his drive earlier in the first quarter, let's back you up a little bit more, son. See what you think about this.
They're going to be nail biting here, the Ottawa faithful. Patterson to throw deep in his own territory. He just does get it off before he's taken down. And guess who comes to greet him? Odette Boudreau.
You can't say enough about the game she's having right now. Just so impressive. Stopping the run, getting to the quarterback. And Patterson had time to let that rip. I would have liked to see him get rid of that ball a little bit sooner. And that's why, because Boudreau is coming.
Not the greatest idea to throw, especially in your own end zone. We'll see if they come out with a run. No, they're going to pass again. Patterson to throw. Time in the pocket. Over the middle. Caught at the 20-yard line. And the Ottawa Cavalry escaped their own end zone.
And how in the world does Gus Scott get this wide open when Annapolis has 6 defensive backs on the field? I mean, it's just a great route, and Patterson has the time, thanks to his own line, to let this thing develop, steps up and lets it rip. And look how open he is. He gets past that second level, and it's got to be Derek Meerkat coming down to make that tackle. That should not be happening.
Now, if Eddie Gage were in the chat, I'd ask him, was that a hard cover too? Because that's what it looked like to me. The defenders playing really close to that line of scrimmage. Maybe someone can help me out. Patterson looks near side. That's hauled in by 82, Jatavius Holloway. As the last time I think I saw number 82 for Ottawa, I think that might have been Gene Valentine.
And that's just a nice change of pace by Patterson, going in between, right in front of the safeties, finding Gus Scott, and then coming down a little lower to find Callaway in front of that first level of defensive backs. 2 great throws, both of them right on the money.
Patterson now in the gun after the clutch play from his own end zone. Over the middle, Gus Scott with a very nice catch in traffic. He hauls it in and gets the first down.
And these are the catches that you remember as a quarterback when you get into the third quarter and fourth quarter and you realize you need a receiver that's going to make a play. Gus Scott right now has made 2 big catches on this drive, and this one's going to move the chains for Ottawa.
First down for the Cavalry at the 33. Offset eye behind Patterson. It's a draw up the middle for Conway, and Conway gets leveled at the 37 after a gain of about 4, maybe 5.
And that's really just a great play call. Annapolis had 5 defensive backs on the field, and Conway had room to run. Just the design of the play led him right into a kerfluffle, a massive humanity. It was 4 yards, could have been more.
Quick throw to the outside. That's the fullback, Michael Foreman, and he can't find any traction as he's taken down at the line of scrimmage. Maybe a loss of 1, and it's Tazzy Blackwell to bring him down.
You wonder if Patterson's going to go back to Gus Scott here on 3rd and 6. This is a passing down, and you see 4 wide receivers on the field.
3rd and 6 from the 38. Handoff, Conway up the middle, goes into traffic, and the Navigators bring him down, led by Tazzy Blackwell again, and they'll have to punt again.
Interesting play call, but they had the personnel to make it work. Tazzy Blackwell obviously had other ideas. Just blowing that thing up at the point of the attack. Ottawa didn't have a chance, and now they're going to punt.
Now this is reminding me, Mr. Josh, about the first time these two played back in week 4 of season 1, where the Cavalry were only able to get 4 field goals, but that was all they would need to come out with the first victory in this series. Meanwhile, the return goes maybe for a yard or 2, but that's the game that really set the tone for this rivalry. The Ottawa Cavalry come back into that, or excuse me, I think it was the Navigator comeback in that game, if I remember correctly, but it was the Navigator comeback in the semifinal, which it just helped fuel this rivalry even further, and it's good to see this rivalry back in action here in season 4.
Yeah, it's all about the competition. It doesn't matter if it's majors or minors. We'd love to see players competing.
Squarebush gets his first call of the drive, and look at the speed on his wheels. He's able to pick up 9.5 on play number 1.
Squarebush, great job of hitting the hole. He's getting the blocks, too, and that's the thing. And maybe the biggest difference I've noticed so far between Squarebush and A.J. Conway is that the experience of Randy Squarebush has really let him navigate between the offensive, the line of scrimmage, and that first and second level, and he's been able to avoid some of the contact that Conway so far has not.
Clock ticks past 7.5 to go here in the second quarter. Another handoff for Squarebush near side. He shoulders another man and gets to midfield. My goodness, Randy Squarebush.
Troy Lang, say hello to Randy Squarebush. Right about there. My goodness. Yeah, the guy was bringing a knife to a gunfight. Squarebush just not having it. What a game he's having so far.
I think Lang is thinking, I didn't order a shoulder sandwich tonight. 1st and 10 for the Navigators. I formation, 3 wideouts. Struthers, deep drop, steps up and fires the far side. Another one-handed grab, this time Oren Darby with the one-handed touch. And he's going to be marked short of the line of scrimmage as he went backward before he was able to get back to the line of game.
That's just a nice route by Darby, getting open there on that right flat in front of the defender. And Struthers, he has looked masterful tonight. Very impressive. It helps when you've got a defense that needs to focus on getting blown up by Randy Squarebush, but he really has done a nice job delivering the football.
Second and maybe a length of a football for one of the few times today. Squarebush can't find the traction. It's a good amount of containment from the Cavalry. Amar Bryant and company were able to bring him down.
And Josh Neal, the strong safety, getting in there as well. And I think that is something you really need to focus on. If you're getting blown up in the run game, the secondary, Josh Neal, Terrence Pearson, and Amar Bryant, who has not looked great so far, all those guys need to focus on bringing out Squarebush, especially here on 3rd and 1.
Another tough yard situation. Squarebush, he gets tackled in the backfield. Declan O'Rourke comes into the backfield to bring him down.
That's a great player making a great play when his team needs him to. Squarebush running roughshod over this defense, and Declan O'Rourke coming in saying, "No, sir." And now here comes the punt team for Annapolis.
Taylor Benjamin on for, I believe, only his second punt of the ball game. Pressure's coming, but he's able to get it away, and there will be no return this time. Another Navigator bounce, and another one inside the 5. Down to the 1. Taylor Benjamin, give that man a contract.
just remarkable. When you can win the special teams, you know, when offense is going, that's great. But then when you can win the special teams battle, and Scar Patterson now is going to start his third drive inside his own 10-yard line. I mean, that's just, your back is literally up against the wall.
See what happens here. Last time they were able to get out of it via the way of the pass. This time they go with Conway, and Conway gets back to the line of scrimmage. Does get taken down to the end zone, but they'll give him forward progress back to the line of scrimmage.
And Tyler, you commented on the last drive, why would you throw out of the end zone at this point? And that is why. To give your receivers an opportunity to get downfield. Gus Scott, Jatavius Callaway, Dusty Rourke as well. One of them might have to make a play here.
I formation, 3 wide, coverage backs up. Quick drop from Patterson, and he does get it away again. That's the second time he's just able to get it away. And Odette Boudreau again nearly comes up with a safety.
Yes, ma'am. Odette Boudreau still ruling the roost in this game whenever she is on the field. Very impressive. And gets Ottawa into a 3rd and long.
4 wide, 3rd and 10 from their own 1-yard line. Handoff Conway gets maybe back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a loss of a half a yard. Oh, but this defense is hungry tonight.
Eddie Blackwell, and anytime you get that close to the end zone, Tyler, when you're on the defensive side, you're just thinking safety the whole time. And they were that close 3 different times. Didn't quite get it here, but they're going to give their offense outstanding field position.
The last punt that Loft had in his own end zone. The return man, Inman, only nearly returned it back to the end zone. He tries to make another miss, and is tackled at the 33-yard line. Are you a next-level SFL fan? Visit the SFL League website at simulationfl.net for info on how to create a player and to join our community. Check out League Leaders. We've got stats from all 17 seasons of the SFL action, and track game, season, and career numbers of all the players over time who have gone from couch to field. The Simulation Football League, 17 seasons strong. Brothers to pass here on 1st down. He finds a hole in the zone, and it's caught for 1st down yardage and more. It's a good hookup to Arain Tarby.
His 5th catch already of the evening. On 5 targets, no less, and this is why. Just a nice little slant route in there. The defender not quite sure where the ball is going. Darby just catches it, gets upfield for a nice gain.
He trips near side, 2 wideouts in that direction here in the single back ace formation. 4-3 look from Ottawa here on 1st down. Brothers to throw, good pocket over the middle. That's caught, leaning toward the end zone is Lockett, and Lockett is taken down 1 yard shy. He nearly had his first touchdown of his career.
Lockett doing some dirty work over the middle. And once again, Struthers, with bodies all around it, puts another ball right on the money, just over the hand of Declan O'Rourke, who's finally able to bring him down short of the goal line. And now it's 1st and goal.
Another laser from Gene Struthers, and now can Squarebush punch it in for touchdown number 2 on the day. He gets the call, a nice hole, and indeed, it's another touchdown for Annapolis.
Squarebush thinks about planning, going to the left side, changes his mind, goes upfield. Great blocking. Didn't have to do anything fancy there at all. Just saunters in for his 2nd touchdown of the night.
It's been a brilliant ball game in their return back to action here in the SFLm for the Annapolis Navigators. They've got 2 touchdowns to show for it here late on here in the 2nd quarter. And here comes Ken Martin on to attempt the extra point. Snap, spot, kick is up, and it is good. And the Navigators lead 14-0. The SFLm is underway, and the season continues with 4 games in week 2. Next Thursday, October 21st. You can watch every single SFL minor league game on right here, the SFL's YouTube channel. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel and hit the notification bell to receive updates. Help the league get to 4,000 subscribers during the SFLm's 4th season. The SFL Minor League, where football dreams begin. Return comes out of about the 10-yard line. As he works his way forward back to the 27, that is Jamal Carter. And on come the Cavalry offense. This time they'll start off in much better field position than the last couple of their drives here, Josh.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, this is their best starting field position of the night at the 27. And Scar Patterson and AJ Conway and company haven't really looked terrible. They've just had some terrible spots, and they've still got to find a way to stave off Odette Boudreau.
They'll run with Conway up the middle. He gets a couple of blocks, and it's his best run of the night. One of the best runs of the night. He picks up 8 down to the 35.
And that time, Ottawa did a nice job of double-teaming Boudreau on the line of scrimmage. And Conway ran to the right side. Got a nice gain. Now you got a second and short, and this is where you want to unleash the dragon a little bit, Tyler. Give your wide receivers a chance to make a big play.
Go with your tight end, flicks out to the left. Deep drop from Patterson, looking for the out route near side. That's hauled in by Dusty Rourke, and she'll pick up the first down and a bunch more.
And that might be Dusty Rourke's first catch of the evening. And if so, welcome to the stat sheet, Ms. Rourke. Very nice play. Moving the chains. Scar Patterson get a little momentum here. Still have time to reach the end zone. You don't have to change anything up too much.
Kept his composure while under pressure from the blitz. Now here on first down, it's a handoff to Conway, who's averaging just under 3 yards a carry. And it'll bring up second down as we hit the 2-minute warning here in the first half. The Navigators hold a 14-point lead with the Cavalry are on the charge once again. Will they be able to get their first points of the season? Come back and we'll find out. You're watching the SFLm on YouTube. Tyler Falk, Josh Zirkle here in the booth with the Commissioner Cameron Irvine back in the studio, pressing all the buttons and making us sound and look better than we actually are.
Which is tough.
Second quarter, yeah, probably tough trying to get maybe me, but it's pretty easy for you there, Josh. You look much better on camera than I do.
Oh, I don't know about that, buddy. You know what my trick is? It's not wearing that flat cap.
You see, that's got to be it, right? I mean, my collection of flat caps might have to take a note or two from that.
Wait, hold it. You have a collection?
I got a little bit of a collection.
How many flat caps do you own?
Oh, it's a small collection, only 4 this time. Patterson on the pass, has a pressure, fires at the line to gain. He's a yard short. Catch was made by Cole Vermillion, and it's decision time here, Josh.
I'd love to see Ottawa go for it here. There's enough time that even if Annapolis didn't get the ball back, they wouldn't have a chance to do anything. You're down 14 points here. You need a spark. Here's a chance to get one.
And indeed, they trot out the offense once more. Tight end flicks to the left. 2 backs in the backfield in the far formation. 3-4 look from the Navigators. Patterson back to pass. Pressure coming. Can't escape the pressure. And he's sacked at midfield. It's a clutch play for the Navigators.
That's Justin Reese coming in on the blitz, and Patterson just holding that ball a little too long. He was looking for the perfect situation. You're not going to find it. Ball's got to be out right there. And Reese making a nice spin move, or a swim technique, to get past his blocker. And that's what Patterson would like to have back.
With under a minute now, the Navigators have all the momentum on their side, up by 14, and they're going to come to the line with 4 wide receivers and Struthers under center. 5-step drop from Struthers, steps up, pressure coming over the middle, that's caught, and escaping the tackle is Nick Lockett. Another fantastic play early on in the season for him, and he's going to force Annapolis to call a timeout after the good play.
And if my commentary sounds garbled after this, it's because I'm going to put my foot in my mouth after watching Lockett just turn up the field and put his team in a position where they can get at least 3 points and probably more. And that's the difference between Patterson and Struthers, at least for this game. Struthers took that 3-step drop and just uncorked it and had Lockett wide open over the middle. And right now he's got a chance to turn that into some points.
Now from the 27, they're just inside field goal range for Ken Martin. We'll see if they get it anywhere forward to give the kicker a little bit easier chance of making one. Struthers, 5-step, looking far side. That's caught on the comeback route for a pickup of about 6 to Orain Darby, and they're going to hustle back to the line.
Annapolis still has 2 timeouts. They wouldn't hurt to use one here.
33 seconds to go and ticking. Struthers near side, Square Bush, another shoulder from Square Bush, but this time that little bounce off pushed him back to the line of scrimmage. Only a pickup of 1 for Square Bush, but he is having, we keep saying, he's having a fantastic game just putting people in the dirt.
Yeah, he really is, and I want to see what Annapolis is going to do here on 3rd and 2. You got a chance to get the first down with Square Bush, but you don't have a lot of time, and you want to save that one time out in the event you got to get your kicker onto the field. It'll be interesting to see what Annapolis decides to do here.
Linebackers crouch toward the center. Split backfield, 2 wideouts. Quick drop for Struthers over the middle. Good catch for Lockett. He's down to the 7. Back to the line they come. Struthers again to pass. 5-step drop, looking for the corner. And it's picked off by Amar Bryant. The Ottawa Cavalry keep it tight.
And Amar Bryant with something of a redemptive interception here in the end zone. The end of the first half. He had been struggling out of the gate, especially in the first quarter, but playing great defense there and taking points off the board for Annapolis. And now I think Ottawa is just going to run a play and head to the locker room, get some lemonade or whatever they got in there.
Straight package, trips near side. They're going to go deep here on 1st down. Looking near side, off the hands of his intended target, Dusky Rourke, and she won't be able to haul it in. 7 seconds left to go on the ticker.
And I don't want to sound like I'm banging on Scar Patterson here, because I think he is a talented quarterback, and I think he's got a chance to put something together here in the second half. He has not been given the spots that Gene Struthers has. And Struthers has done a nice job of letting it rip. I think Patterson right now is very desperate to make something happen. Oh, no.
Conway fumbles. The Navigators recover.
Oh, no.
He's going to take it back to the house. The defense for the Navigators shows up big. It's Cyrus Jive who comes up with a scoop and score.
And that is exactly what you don't need right now if you're Ottawa. Amazing play by Annapolis, and they are just continuing to dominate here. And you can get a turnover here. And this is one of the reasons why you just want to take a knee and go in. But Cyrus Jive, very fortunate bounce. And Jive, by the time he gets his hands on that football, there's nobody around to tackle him. And he walks in unencumbered. And it's a 3-score lead for Annapolis.
Tazzy Blackwell is the one to knock the ball out, and the Navigators are pulling out a rout on their rivals in Ottawa. And on comes Ken Martin for another extra point. High snap, nearly blocked, but it's up and good, and the Navigators now have a 21 donut advantage.
And that's just really unfortunate for Ottawa that still has an opportunity to, again, come in here and reverse their fortunes here in the second half. Annapolis, you got to take your hat up. They are playing outstanding football in all 3 phases of the game right now.
And Martin boots it downfield for Jamal Carter to start his return from the 10. He'll try and angle it back to the far side. That's a couple blockers, but he is taken down by Cyrus Jive, a man who got the scoop and score, and that will take us to halftime here in Maryland. And to say it's been all Navigators would probably be an understatement at this point, Josh.
Yeah, it really has been. You got it. Cannot help but be impressed the way Annapolis has responded here. Coming off of hiatus, did not play in SFLm Season 3, and they are in their own stadium playing about as well as you could expect an SFLm team to play at this point. They did have the interception in the end zone, the one misstep by Struthers. What has otherwise been a masterful game, especially by that guy right there, Randy Squarebush, who has just obviously running very strong and very hard, running smart as well, Tyler. Doing a nice job of hitting the holes, exercising some patience. AJ Conway, he's ripped off a couple big runs as well. It is just great to see minor league football back. And I still think we got a lot of football left to play. 21-0. I don't think it's that big a lead here in this particular environment. I think Ottawa's got a great chance to stage a comeback here, but they've got to come out of the gate swinging. And that guy, Scar Patterson, he's got the arm and the weapons to do it. but it's got to come out pretty quick.
Yeah, and they've got a couple of those good plays. They just need to string a couple of them together. We saw that nice little throw out of the end zone from Scar Patterson. We saw Conway make that nice big old run. We saw the interception from Amar Bryant. But immediately after that interception, the ball was fumbled away on the ensuing first down, which led to the Navigators in this 21-point lead. So the question is, can the Cavalry mount a comeback? Can they get on their horses and charge back into this one? It's going to be tough to find out. They're facing an uphill battle here, Josh.
Yeah, I'd like to see them get more aggressive in the passing game. They did have the fumble, but Scar Patterson is a quarterback that can air it out. Gus Scott made a couple clutch catches in the first half. He needs to get more involved. The Dusty Rourke as well. She is a weapon that they could take advantage of as well. The question is, though, Tyler, can Ottawa do it? And can they stave off Odette Boudreau and what has really been a really strong Annapolis Navigators defense?
Navigators will kick off to start off the second half. Thanks for joining us here in Annapolis, Maryland. I'm Tyler Falk. He's Josh Zirkle. And we're underway here in the second half of action. Carter on the return near his own 10-yard line. Tries to stretch it out to the far side. He gets taken down at the 26. And that is where the Ottawa Cavalry will start their first possession of the second half.
And this is really where you want to come out and get something done right away. You need 3 touchdowns. You want to try and get one here as soon as you can. If you got a special play, big play, roll the dice downfield and let it rip.
Lights the spark. Patterson to throw. Has time into triple coverage, and it's nearly snatched out of the air by Harry Hudson.
And going to Michael Foreman. Obviously, it's not the play that I was hoping for, but this is not really a terrific read. And Patterson, I'm not sure what you expect Foreman to do at that point. Once he catches the ball, he's going to get blown up anyway.
Might have felt the pressure.
Yes, might have felt the player pressure. Might have been a check down there. But he's putting his fullback in a bad spot with that throw.
Almost a suicide pass over the middle into coverage like that. We'll see if he can find an open receiver this time around if they decide to pass. 3 wide receivers, open slot receiver on that far sideline. That's Carter. And they go with the run up the middle with Conway, and Conway gets tackled after a pickup of 1. He's brought down by Brett Woods.
And you can see Ottawa eager to get Conway back in the mix. Had the fumble in the first half. They ain't scared. They're going to keep giving him the ball.
4 wide receivers. Patterson in the gun. He's back to pass. Pocket collapsing. He fires far side to the corner route, but saying nothing doing is King Rashid. And the Navigators on the first possession of this second half will force a 3-and-out and only 1 yard of offense on the drive.
And Annapolis defense is not letting up at all. And we're seeing the coverage downfield, and Patterson probably could have had a little more on that ball. But that's really just a great play by Rashid going up and knocking that down and showing some aggressiveness. You had a chance to pick it off as well.
Aiden Loft, he's been busy today, is going to go ahead and punt this one away to Xavier Inman, who will call for the fair catch at the 36-yard line. For the first time in nearly 3 years, the SFL will broadcast playoff games on its own networks, and for the first time, will offer simulcasts of the playoff games on all SFL platforms. SFL Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch. Check out the 2 wildcard matchups, Saturday, October 16th at 1 p.m. Eastern and Sunday, October 17th at 6 p.m. Eastern on all platforms. And we've actually got the pairings this weekend, Josh. We'll get those out to everybody here listening and watching here in just a second. As Squarebush gets the first call of the half, and he's off to the races again. Gets by a couple defenders. It's a foot race. 10-5. Randy Squarebush to the house. And the Navigators are sailing away with it.
I see what you did there, Tyler, and I just saw what Randy Squarebush did. I'm not sure about that celebration. But once again, another inspired run by a guy who is adding lines to his resume as this game continues. Look at him just shrug defenders off And Amar Bryant missed on the tackle there with the flying shoulder. And Declan O'Rourke trying to run him down and can't catch him. Squarebush pulling away from Declan O'Rourke. Another inspired, oh my gosh. That's just brutalized. And the way Squarebush has got this team on his back and running away with this game. His third touchdown, and we're barely into the second half.
64 yards on the run for Randy Squarebush, and don't quote me, but he might just be putting himself up for Player of the Week potential for the entirety of the minor league. He has already put his name on a lot of scouting books early on here in this season, and it's already only week one. Snap spot, kick is up from Ken Martin, and it's good. And my goodness, Randy Squarebush with a fantastic run. Maybe a team in the majors could use him, Josh. But let's go and talk wild card. Those two matchups for the simulcast will be St. Louis and Vancouver on Sunday, and Las Vegas, Queen City tomorrow.
Yeah, Queen City, you got to tip their hat. They've had a great season, made a lot of changes to their front office, and you don't always reap the rewards one season in, but they have. And they've done a great job, and they would have won their division had it not been for Baltimore wrecking the snot out of everybody. And Vancouver, St. Louis is going to be a great game as well. St. Louis, they've done some giant killing over the course of season 17, and Vancouver not put together the resume that you would expect from them year in and year out, so to speak. I think both of those games are going to be fantastic. Las Vegas, I mean, they were left for dead 3 weeks into the season. For them to make the playoffs, that's just outstanding.
Absolutely. The most winningest franchise in league history, the Queen City Corsairs, which have the most championships in the SFL with 4 back in the playoffs. It's good to see them back. And like you mentioned there, Josh, Las Vegas, I think they're the most stingiest ball club out there to make the playoffs. And again, I think they have to be one of the teams to watch here, maybe one of the underdogs. I think they might take home the victory on Sunday. Meanwhile, Pass the Outside is caught for a good gain of about 6, and Ottawa's drive gets off to a pretty good start.
Yeah, going back to Gus Scott, they're running the out route, and the out route will butter your bread. That is a route. If you could run that in the minor leagues, the teams in the majors will take a chance on you. Ask Doug Spelling, the only wide receiver to go off the board in the first round. He mastered that route.
Conway nearly broke it for a big one. He does get the first down and down to the 46. He nearly answered Squarebush.
He did. He was just one player away from breaking this, too. It's 39 that finally managed to drag him down. That's Gary Lee Gond. Made a touchdown-saving tackle. Annapolis, once again, coming up with a play when they need it, but it is a first down for Ottawa.
I formation for the Cavalries. Patterson to throw over the middle, right at the defender for the Navigators, Harry Hudson with the deflection.
Yeah, and Hudson doing a nice job of just staying home in the hook zone, spying on Scar Patterson, and getting a mitten on that pass, knocking it down.
28-0 the score line here. The Ottawa Cavalry need to mount a comeback and make a late charge. 4 wide receivers, offset single back here on 2nd and 10. Patterson finds Gus Scott open over the middle, and he gets turned around a couple times, fighting for extra yards down to the 35.
And that's a terrific read by Patterson. You saw the stunt in the middle of the field. Quick drop, and then got rid of it. The 6 defensive backs on the field for Annapolis, and it still finds Gus Scott running that short post route. Tremendous catch. A great job hanging onto the ball by Gus Scott. He's brutalized by a handful of black jerseys.
The chains here on this drive, Josh, as they're trying to get inside the 30-yard line, which would be inside the range of George Murphy. Pressure coming. Patterson near side. A falling catch is made by Dusty Rourke. Good concentration from the tight end, and it helps out her quarterback's blushes.
Absolutely. O'Rourke coming up with a catch there. We have Rourke and O'Rourke on Ottawa today, and I'm not sure that's not going to be confusing at all as we get farther into this game. But that's a nice grab by Rourke. 2nd and medium.
With backfield, 3 wide receivers on 2nd and 5. Patterson near side. Good turn from Gus Scott. He had to adjust in the air to make that catch, and he converts for a first down.
Patterson is putting that drive together that we were all hoping that he would be able to manage here in the second half, getting his receivers involved. Conway busted off a big run early in this drive. Things are looking up for the Cavalry.
Warriors going to play bump coverage on the outside. They'll hand off with Conway, and Conway tried to bounce to the outside, but Tazzy Blackwell was there to meet him and takes him down after a pick up of 4.
And we talked a lot about Odette Boudreaux, but Tazzy Blackwell having a very nice game also. Doing a nice job of patrolling that second level, whether it's with the run or with the pass. Very nice tackle.
Other 4 wide receivers set for the Cavalry. Patterson, quick drop, will find Conway on the swing pass, and he can't turn up field quick enough as he's met right at the line of scrimmage, maybe a pick of a 1, and it's Tazzy Blackwell again on the tackle.
Yeah, Blackwell was on the other side of the field. That's what was so impressive about that, is that Tazzy was playing what would have been for her the left side of the field, and it just came over. That was the weak side, and she still made that play.
Patterson, another quick drop. Takes a little bit extra time in the pocket, and when you take those short drops, you have to get rid of it quickly, as it was Derek Meerkat in with the pressure.
Meerkat on a safety blitz, I guess. Getting really close to the action there. When you're in the red zone, you can do that when you're on the defensive side. You don't have as much area to patrol. It looks like Ottawa is just going to take the points here.
Side field goal range. This will be a 34-yard attempt from the left hash. George Murphy to break the donut, to get a crooked number on the board. Snap spot, kick is on its way, and it is no good. He pushed it right, and the score remains 28-0.
And that's just awful. An awful result there. Really, that was kind of a bizarre angle. It almost looked good from that perspective. But I would have liked to see Ottawa just take a shot at the end zone. You're down 4 scores. You still want to build momentum. You still want to get something on the board, like you said. It didn't happen.
Brothers will hand off to Squarebush on the outside, but the Cavalry read that one nicely, as that's then the 3rd time they've called that play, and getting into the backfield is Case Shine.
Shine's made a couple plays here. Declan O'Rourke as well. This is a solid linebacking core here at Ottawa. And they're going to need to step up and give their offense another chance to get down the field.
Crowd is nearly silent, even for the hometown club. I wonder if they're just being quiet so they can let the offense work and put up more points, as Darby gets them moving forward, gets past the line to gain, and now the crowd erupts.
Yeah, I think they're as surprised as we are, and this is a situation where they haven't seen any football for 6 months, and now their team comes out, 21-0 halftime lead. They're up 28-0 now. And sometimes when you're a fan and you show up to a game, you expect to do work, you expect to cheer hard, get your defense fired up. The Annapolis faithful haven't had to do that tonight.
Bush on the call, near side again with another stiff arm to fight for extra yardage. Picks up 3 yards on the tough run to the near side.
And that was Amar Bryant who got stiff-armed again, but he did manage to slow Squarebush up enough that his comrades could arrive on the scene and bring him down. And now a 2nd and 7. Ottawa needs a couple more big plays if they want to get off the field here.
High formation, power run to the near side. Squarebush nearly broke that one, but bringing him down by his ankles was Shine.
And Shine got a free ride there for a couple of yards as well, but did manage to finish the tackle. 3rd and 4. Not necessarily a running down, but then most teams don't necessarily have Randy Squarebush.
Under 5 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter. A handoff for Squarebush near side. He gets a couple blocks, has to shoulder a man, and he stiff arms another. He's off to the races again. He can't escape the leg tackle of Mar Bryant, though. It's another big run for Randy Squarebush.
And Squarebush, the clinic continues here well into the 3rd quarter. And Squarebush, who I thought was going to be dead to rights here. Josh Neal gets blown up, just gets a shoulder. And then Troy Lang just gets blown up as well with the stiff arm. And Brian has to run him down from behind. And Annapolis on their way to the red zone.
I know it's only game one here, Josh, but Randy Squarebush looks head and shoulders one of the best players in this league at the moment.
Well, absolutely. I mean, he's got the experience, and I think he's got enough talent around him that he's really going to stand out this season.
Pass over the middle, nearly picked up by Shine. As he read that one perfectly, he just sat there in the middle zone and got his hands to the football.
You know, and running back is a weird spot, too, because you look at Douglas Brown, who's playing with Boise now, and I thought he was a shoo-in. The way that he was running over defenders in SFLm Season 3. And I thought his ticket for the majors was going to be punched, and it didn't work out that way. You know, and I know Randy Squarebush has had some disappointments on that front as well. But really, all you could do is just go out and play your best.
Gets another call, picks up 5 yards to add to his tally as he's getting close to 200 yards. There's the official tally. He's close to 10 yards on average per run, and that's sitting right there at 170 plus.
And the other thing that you did mention, Tyler, this is the first game, and not only first game for the offenses, but the defenses as well. And when you're on a staff and you're trying to put a game plan together, especially on the defensive line, you have no idea what's coming. And so you are really throwing darts here. And sometimes you get it right, and sometimes it looks the opposite of right.
First tipped and caught by Nick Lockett. A heads-up play, and he played the tip drill to perfection. First down, Navigators.
That's a really inspired catch by Lockett. Somehow, did somebody get a finger on this? Struthers, once again, putting it right there. Yeah, it looked like Shine got a deflection on it, and then Lockett snatched it out of the air. Another great catch by Lockett.
Just out of the reach of Lockett, he got the tip, right?
There was a tip somewhere.
First and goal for the 9 for the Navigators. Squarebush on the call, near side, gets a block. His fighting at the 5 for extra yardage. Gets to the 4 after Josh Neal was able to bring him down.
And Neal doing a nice job of wrapping him up that time. A much better result for Neal as opposed to just a couple plays ago. Squarebush, though, he smells that end zone. He smells it. He could almost taste it. He sees it. He can't hear it, though, because the end zones do not make noise.
There's another good stat. 7 targets, 7 receptions for Darby. And I got to wonder what Struthers sitting at for completion percentage as Squarebush gets the call. And it's a hat trick on the day. Oh, and they're going to give it to McDaniels. Oh, I was thinking it was going to be Squarebush with a hat trick. Instead, they gave it to the backup tailback. And, oh, the route's on here in Maryland.
And you could forgive Randy Squarebush if he was a little fatigued after a very long Annapolis drive. Once again, going down the field, and now McDaniel's getting in there. Very, very impressive showing by Annapolis today, Tyler. Running out of ways to say it.
They are taking it to the season 1 champs, and right there again, the field goal up and good. 35-0 your score line, and well, it's a big margin to overcome if you're the Cavalry, and they got to start somewhere. They got 2:30 left to go here in the third quarter. Still plenty of time to make a comeback. We've seen crazier things happen here in the SFL and SFLm.
Yeah, we have, Tyler. And I think a lot of people just want to see some bright spots that Ottawa can take in the next week. Get on the board, get a touchdown, get some more drives going. And those are your goals now at this point. Forget about the score. Forget about what's happened in the first half. And just try and string a few successful plays together. Just play some good football.
Completely agree, as the Cavalry would take over on the 29. And let's get to some more wild card simulcast. Or we just talked about the simulcast. That's going on tomorrow and Sunday. But meanwhile, coverage of the SFL's 17th postseason begins tomorrow, October 16th on Next Level Sports at 4 p.m. Eastern. The London Knights playing their first playoff game in franchise history as the pass is picked up by the Navigators, and going the other way as King Rashid gets interception number 1. And to add insult to the injury, Brandon Duncan was injured on the play, and so just going to interrupt Next Level with a very nice interception.
Yeah, Rashida made a play out there earlier, almost in that exact same spot on the field. Just doing a nice job. Ball's a little underthrown. He's right there, brings it in, gets a little bit of a return on it, too. I tell you, if you're Annapolis, you've just really got to like what you're seeing out of this defense. Forget about Boudreaux and Tazzy Blackwell. A lot of playmakers here. And we still have guys like Stuart Zamelia and Jerry Lee Gahn, who's made a couple plays as well. But a lot of talent on this Annapolis defense.
Struthers fires near far side. That's caught by Lockett. Another catch. Good enough for 4. And let's get back to more wild card action. Shouldn't we, Josh? London Knights playing in their first playoff game tomorrow. And they're going to find them take on Arizona on Next Level Sports. Visit itsnextlevel.com and ftfnext.com so you don't miss a single minute of action as the playoffs kick off tomorrow, Josh. And I think you're on the call for that one.
I was on the call, and then my wife told me I was not on the call, so I will not be calling that game. Very fortunate that Mr. Devon Simeon is going to step in there, and he's going to do an awesome job. And I'm upset that I'm not going to be seeing that game live because I just love watching Johnny Pickler throw the football. The way this offense works just seems to defy SFL norms and standards. And I had said about 3 or 4 weeks ago that if London got into the playoffs, that Johnny Pickler is your MVP because he is a guy. Chad Rowland knew exactly what he was doing. He brought in somebody that was a lightning rod, and he managed to harness the lightning. He changed the culture in London. People are talking about the London Knights in a completely different way than they were talking about them a season ago. They're in the playoffs. Think about what they had to do. They had to knock off the undefeated Baltimore Vultures to get into the playoffs, and they've made it. And they're, you talk about wild card. There is no bigger wild card right now than London. You have no idea what's going to happen with that game. That is going to be fantastic to watch. And I'm really upset that I'm not going to be there, but I think Declan and Ramos are going to do an outstanding job in the booth.
And off the middle for Squarebush, and he gets a couple of yards. And back to that matchup between Arizona and London, Josh. Arizona's coming off of 2 losses. They look like they're just limping into these playoffs. Would that maybe have a little bit of a factor in that ball game?
Well, Arizona's been kind of up and down. I mean, they've played some great games, and then they've had some duds as well. And they're another team that's a wild card for, maybe not maybe less flattering reasons. As Annapolis has another touchdown, that's Lorraine Darby. But I really think that they could string it together. And Ashley Jackson's a quarterback that knows how to win. And those are things that you won in the playoffs. And just, last season in the playoffs. I mean, they were that close. So don't count anybody out at this point, obviously.
Back to the Lorraine Darby touchdown. That was a beautiful ball by Struthers over the outstretched hand of the defender right into the breadbasket of Lorraine Darby. And Annapolis looks to go up by 42. Snap, spot kick is up, and it is good. And it's 42-0 here in Maryland.
And Tyler, we haven't mentioned it before, but this new scorebook that we have below with the ticker, this is just gorgeous. I mean, I'm really fighting the urge to just keep reading as this game is going on. Very impressive job by our commissioner / producer / master of ceremonies / Arkansas high school football aficionado, Cameron Irvine.
There's a lot of good information down there. A lot of little tidbits that everybody at home can read into, and you just read and read, and you get lost sometimes. But it's an absolutely gorgeous ticker. It makes the presentation so much better. You get all these little tidbits. I absolutely love it. I completely agree, and chat's also blowing up chat right now. They're in love with the ticker as well, as Ottawa will get this drive started from their own 26. And we mentioned earlier, they're just trying to get points, trying to give some confidence back to their guys. Deep drop, pass outside for Patterson. That's hauled in for a pickup of 6. And the drive, they have good drive starters here, Josh, but they just can't seem to string them together.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And like we're talking about how sometimes when you're putting together a game plan defensively, sometimes you hit and sometimes you miss. And Odette Boudreaux, as great as she's been tonight, she is not going to be destroying offensive lines for 8 straight games. Tazzy Blackwell is not going to be blowing up running backs for 8 straight games. There's going to be a regression to the mean, and it's unfortunate for Ottawa that they're catching Annapolis this hot right now, but there are going to be games where Ottawa is going to be doing this to some other team, and we're going to be like, we're just going to nod our heads and be like, yeah, that's life for the SFLm. That's the way it goes. So we can't extrapolate from one game.
Clock hits 000 here in the third quarter, so get your 4s and 86s up in chat. You're watching the Simulation Football Minor League presented by APM Music here on YouTube, and we want to remind you that the SFL is presented by APM Music, as APM Music is unrivaled music to bring your stories to life, inspiring every production with the world's most robust and constantly refreshed music collection, state-of-the-art technology, and world-class customer service. APM Music is the official soundtrack of the Simulation Football League. To explore their library and to find the perfect tracks for your projects, visit apmmusic.com, as Ottawa finally is able to convert on a short yardage play and pick up the first down to a nice pass to Gus Scott.
Yeah, Scott showing himself to be old reliable here. And you see him up the top of your screen there. And Patterson's going to find him again on this drive, I suspect.
Press coverage, look over the top. They do to the near side, and it's out of the hands of Jatavius Callaway. That could have been a big play, and unfortunately, he is unable to haul that one in. It hasn't been his day today.
Yeah, you just saw the stats. 2 catches on 7 targets. And again, that's not necessarily a knock against Callaway, and it's not even against Patterson either. There are some wrinkles that need to be ironed out, and those wrinkles will be ironed out. The difference between the first week and the second week is going to be so significant.
Conway here on second down gets the call, picks up about 3 yards as he's taken down after the short game. And some devastating news, Brandon Duncan will be out for the rest of the game. And for all of you guys that are new here in the minor league, that 20 weeks little stipulation, we've got some pretty good doctors. He'll be back next week, but for now, it's a pretty painful injury.
I would think so, and at least he's got a good seat to watch the rest of the game.
There we go. Gun straight package here on this play. Pass tried to find the near side again, but it's incomplete. Pass was broken up by Derek Meerkat, and on comes the punting unit for the Cavalry.
Meerkat, another defender who's done a nice job so far. It shows the versatility as well. He's rushed the passer. He's played defense in the secondary. He's made some run-stopping tackles as well. He's going to be another defender to watch as Annapolis continues with their season.
Lofts it into the air with his leg, and it's a good return. He is on the return. Xavier Inden nearly broke that one big as he gets down to the 24. It's been a complete game for the Navigators here, Josh. They've played very well in all 3 disciplines: offense, defense, special teams. And I think that's the biggest reason why we see how lofty the scoreline is and how dominant a performance the Navigators have displayed here in their return to SFLm.
Yeah, and they've been dominant. And really, you don't see a team or a couple of players like we've seen here be this dominant this fast. You will see somebody have a wild game once in a while. But Squarebush is back in the game, drilling people.
He's running out of gas, but he's on fumes to the 30. He's getting chased down to the 20, and Randy Squarebush well over 200 yards. It's a fantastic day. 239 yards for Randy Squarebush.
Yeah, I'm not sure why he's back in the game at this point, but, this is what he does. He's just trucking people. And unfortunately, that was Terrence Pearson on the end of that one. And Squarebush just off to the races, and we are probably going to see this a lot. We're talking about the way defenses can adjust. But one of the things you notice is that good running backs could run against just about any other defense. And Squarebush really putting a great line on his resume together tonight.
It's the call here on first down. Picks up maybe 2 yards to the far side, and just this right here, I think, is the statement ball game for the Navigators. It's only week 1, but already they're saying, Tacoma's been the team that almost everyone's been pointing to as the championship front runner. These Navigators are saying, you know what? You better watch out for us.
Well, it's a nice welcome back to the league for them, no question about it. And when you've got you can generate some fanfare. You've got a couple of star players that are standing out already. And that's great for the fans, and that's great for followers of these teams. In SFLm, the rosters turn over so much, it's difficult to latch on to 2 or 3 players that might be, successful. And for guys to have big games early, I think that benefits just about everybody.
Bush back in on the play after taking a rest on second down. He can't get back to the line of scrimmage. Taken down for a loss. Won by Troy Lang. And I think this is the first time we're going to see Ken Martin on an attempt a field goal.
Yeah, and this was pointed out in chat already. But with 7 minutes left in this game, Squarebush could threaten the single game rushing yards record.
See if he gets to it, Josh. Meanwhile, 31-yard attempt here for Martin is up, and he's good, while his counterpart wasn't. And it's now 45-0. Navigators leading the charge here in this one. On For the Fans, here this Sunday, the coverage of the playoffs, the wildcard round, will begin with a league playoff pregame special at 2:30 p.m. Eastern before kickoff at 3:30 Eastern in South Carolina, where the Charleston Predators will welcoming the Los Angeles Lycans. To find For the Fans channels on your devices, visit itsnextlevel.com and ftfnext.com so you don't miss a single minute of the action. Turn is going to net positive here for the Cavalry, and Jamal Carter down to the 28.
You're talking about Lycans at Predators. I don't know if I'd want to be playing that Charleston team right now either. They have been at times outstanding. And to catch an LA team that needed 2 wins or 1 win in the last 2 weeks to clinch the Pacific Division and couldn't come up with a win either time, that would be one of the last teams I'd want to face right now is Charleston.
Conway gets here. His drive started with a good pick of a 6, and it's almost like the Arizona-London ball game, Josh, where, again, they're limping in the playoffs, and another hot team is coming into the playoffs. And Charleston, I was on the call for that ball game, and their offense, to me, looked like it improved leaps and bounds from in weeks and even seasons past. That offense looks really dangerous.
Yeah, and their defense is good, too. I mean, that is a well-rounded team that I think could hang with just about anybody. In Los Angeles, who's shown a lot of talent, obviously had some transition in the middle of the season. They really need to find a way to get Chris Lee involved. When they were humming in the middle of the season, Chris Lee was putting together monster stat lines and even had a big one in week 11. And for one against Vancouver, and for one reason or another, they were just not able to put together the W. And it wasn't because they weren't playing well, because they were. They just caught a couple teams at terrible times. And I would argue that they're going to catch Charleston at a terrible time, at least for them, because that Predators team looks so good.
Conway gets his 3rd carry in a row, and after 2 very nice runs, he gets stopped up right at the line of scrimmage. Tazzy Blackwell has played solid all game long, and she's been mentioned time and time again, where meanwhile Odette Boudreau has almost fallen off the radar here as of late, but they're still in charge here with the commanding lead.
They are. Right now, Ottawa trying to put something together, something to look at on film in practice next week. Some good news. And they are putting some good news together. There are some bright spots here for sure, and I think Patterson is going to be one of them. And I think once he is more comfortable with this offense and starts getting the ball out of his hand a little bit sooner, I think you're going to see Ottawa grow by leaps and bounds. There's a lot of talent on this team. It's just finding the ability to harness it right away. Sometimes you get lucky, you figure it out in this first week. Sometimes you need a little bit longer.
Off the pass to the fullback. Michael Foreman can't fight off the tackle, and is tackled a yard shy, and the Navigators want to pitch a shutout as you've got nothing left to lose here with 5.5 to go. You might as well go for it. Might as well try your luck, and indeed they try out the offense.
Here we go. This is what we like to see, a little chutzpah from teams that happen to be trailing. Just get out there and see what can happen.
Line shifts and linebackers move the opposite way. Patterson to throw, near side corner route caught by Gus Scott, and they'll convert on 4th down.
Gus Scott making his reputation known as Mr. Clutch right away. Just a very impressive game from him. And sometimes, especially the wide receivers, you don't see the stats, but you see where quarterbacks decide to throw the ball on 3rd downs and 4th downs in clutch situations. Gus Scott is that guy right now for Ottawa.
Straight package. Patterson looking over the top. He's got Scott toward the 11-yard line.
We're going to hurry up here.
Back to the line they come. Back in the gun straight. Defense needs to get set. Patterson to throw. All slants over the middle. In and out of the hands of Cole Vermillion. Incomplete.
Interesting play call. You had 5 defensive backs on the field for Annapolis. And that sometimes that all slants play is great. I don't like to see that in the red zone just because you're not taking advantage of the space that would be available otherwise. Would have liked to see them go back to AJ on that play.
Unless something happens, this shutout might very well be in jeopardy. Patterson to throw, looks near side. That's hauled in by Vermillion. Gain of 2, 3rd and 8. They're going to hustle back to the line in this strong package.
It looks like Conway's out. Herman Chelsea, the running back right now.
They'll go to Chelsea, top of the screen. He can't get past the line to gain. Taken down 2 yards shy. The coverage was strong. And on comes the field goal unit.
We got to remember, Murphy missed earlier from 34. This one is going to be significant. Oh, no, here's the offense, Tyler. Chutzpah reigns supreme in Annapolis.
They're going to go for broke. 4th and 2. Patterson pumps once, fires near side. That's Chelsea turning upfield, touchdown Ottawa. The deadlock at 0 is broken. They put a crooked number on the board.
And AJ Conway back in the game. And just finds a flare pass and a race to the pylon. And Conway's going to win that one over Harry Hudson, the linebacker. And nice to see some good news here for Ottawa. Getting on the board, getting some points, avoiding the shutout. Annapolis has 45 points. They can't really be too upset about giving a touchdown up to Ottawa, I would hope.
The shutout goes out the window, but it's still a mountain to climb for Ottawa with under 4 to go. But the Navigators have been in control for most of this football game. Murphy's kick is up and good, and that's a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel here for the Cavalry. They were able to march down the field, able to put on 6, and heads up to congratulations over there to AJ Conway with touchdown number 1 on the season. I believe that's number 1 of his career as well.
And now some bonus with Tyler. We're going to get an onside kick.
Here we go. Ottawa has nothing left to lose. Onside kick is up and hauled in safely by the Navigators. That's Cyrus Jive, who earlier to end out that first half, remember, had that scoop and score, which put them up 21-0 at half. And their offense is going to start another key point here, Josh. They start inside Ottawa territory.
They do. And I think if they were going to keep Squarebush in the game, that would hamper his chances to break the rushing record. But hard to tell if we're going to do that at this point.
And off near side, and indeed is the backup tailback, William McDaniels. Daniels doesn't have the same strength that Squarebush has, and it looks like Squarebush's day is done unless they sub McDaniels out for him. But it was an impressive day for Randy Squarebush, all told.
Yeah, absolutely. I had him at 241 yards, 3 touchdowns. That's not even counting what he did. Catching passes out of the backfield, ran over defenders, and really, in a lot of ways, put this offense on his back. And he is going to be somebody that teams are going to have to game plan for as the season goes on. And that is a player you'd love to have on your offense, Tyler, when they have to focus on one player that opens up opportunities for everybody else. And guys like Nick Lockett, Noreen Darby, Morgan Applewhite, they're going to see their numbers grow because every defense that Annapolis faces from here on out is going to be worried about Randy Squarebush. It looks like Michael Melton, the backup quarterback, is in as well.
Backups are in for the Navigators, and in order to convert, maybe get into field goal range, they have to cross the 30. We'll take as much time off this clock as possible, and they'll run with McDaniels to the far side, who gets a block and is still going. McDaniels has a run down to the 15-yard line before being taken down. Everyone's coming out to play for these Navigators.
Yeah, McDaniels a strong run there. When you are a backup, you get on the field. It's like a dog seeing a fire truck. You just jump out of the gate and get going. There, nice dip of the shoulder there, trying to get past Josh Neal. And then finally brought down by Troy Lang. 2-minute warning.
2 minutes left to go here in Annapolis. This game has been decided early on, but we're going to close it out. Still got plenty of football left to go. Still plenty of plays to make happen. Ottawa might have one more chance at the football after the Navigators will take as much time off the clock as possible here with 2 minutes to go. It's 45-7. I'm Tyler Falk. He's Josh Circle. Thanks for joining us today. Offsides penalty. It'll be a free play. McDaniels on the run to the far side. That'll take him down to the 10. Clock will stop with 1:57. So they'll either take the penalty 5 yards or the run for 5 yards. Just depends on whether or not you want to first down or not.
Well, Tyler, as we're wrapping up this game, I just want to say this is always fun to be doing a game with you. You were the first guy that I sat in the booth with in SFL. We always have a good time, barrel laughs, and I'm really sorry I made fun of your hats.
Josh, we still have yet to meet up and go golfing at some point. That'll be something. But no, it's always a good time here in the booth. It's always a great call to have you along. And again, huge shout out to everybody here at home for watching us and making fun of me and my hats. You can do that anytime as McDaniels gets taken down after a gain of 4. Another timeout, for the first timeout, I should say, for Ottawa to stop the clock. 1:53 left to go. And let's talk playoffs. Let's run through the lineup one last time, shall we?
Let's do it.
Josh, we have playoffs starting tomorrow. Las Vegas, Queen City. That game starts around 1 p.m. Eastern on the SFL network, family of networks, YouTube, Twitch, all 9 yards. Following that game, London will play Arizona on Next Level. Then on Sunday, as McDaniels gets a nice run up the middle, he gets taken down at the 1, just a yard shy of the end zone. Back to the wild card matchups on Sunday. Los Angeles plays Charleston around 3:30 p.m. Eastern. That's over on For the Fans. And the final game of the weekend is St. Louis and Vancouver at 6 o'clock Eastern. And that game will be back on the SFL family and networks, Twitter, Facebook. Again, the whole 9 yards.
You have any picks, Tyler? You want to give some picks? You want to go on record?
Let's see. I was on NETMA. My picks on NETMA were Charleston to beat Los Angeles, Vancouver to beat St. Louis, Las Vegas to beat Queen City, and Arizona to beat London. Those were my picks. How about you?
Las Vegas beating Queen City is an inspired choice. I might go a little bit more chalk. I'm a big fan of Queen City. I think they're going to handle Las Vegas. I think Arizona's too good. I think they're going to have an answer for Johnny Pickler. Eddie Gage, just a tremendous coach and game planner. I'm going to take Arizona there. I love the way Charleston's playing right now, and that might belie my role as the unofficial voice of the Lycans. I've called so many of their games this past year. I'm going to take the Predators in a close game there, and I'm going to pick St. Louis to upset Vancouver. They've done a little giant killing this year, and Vancouver, for whatever reason, it's not been the Vancouver of a season ago. They backed into the division title, and St. Louis, I think is the hotter team right now.
Those are our picks. What are your picks? Let us know in the chat as we prepare for wild card weekend this weekend, the 16th and 17th. Look forward to seeing everybody there as Struthers takes another knee. And with time dwindling under a minute, they're going to go ahead and try out the field goal unit to just add more fuel to this rivalry and get some late points here as the Navigators look to go up by another. Just this margin of victory here, Josh, is astronomical. 45-7. You don't often see blowouts here in the minor league. You don't often see blowouts in the SFL proper itself, but it's been a clinic to be sure here for the Navigators back at home for the first time in half a year. It's been a welcome return for Navigators football as Martin pick is up and good from 22, and it's 48-7. And unless Ottawa makes a late charge, a late dash to the end zone, this is more than likely your final score.
Yeah, I think so. And I think officially now we can congratulate Annapolis on just a dominant performance. Offense, defense, special teams. Ottawa had 3 drives, 3 of their first 4 drives of the game where they were inside their own 10-yard line. And that's not really a recipe for success when you're trying to develop an offense, you're trying to start some things that you really haven't had a chance to work on in game situations, at least for this season. And they do have some veteran players, Scar Patterson especially, and they're going to lean on him heavily as this season continues, SFLm Season 4. And like I said before, I will bang the drum for Scar Patterson. I think he's up to the challenge, and I think this Ottawa team is going to look much, much better as the season develops.
Patterson looks deep. That's caught by Gus Scott across midfield down to the 49. And the clock will continue to run. They're going to hurry up back to the line to try and spike it with under 10 seconds to go. Patterson does spike it at midfield. And my biggest word of encouragement for Ottawa is it's only week 1. You've played against one of the better teams here in the minor league. I think that by far right now has been established. In their return, a lot of these players coming over from the old Birmingham Fuel franchise. Right. And right now, it's just a tough. You just had a tough game. Come back next week in week 2, and you guys will be strong. Stick with the team. Stick with your coach's game plan. Stick with their progressions. You'll be okay. Pass over the middle is incomplete. That's Eddie Blackwell with the deflection. Indeed, it is. And only 4 seconds time for one last heave-ho down the field from Scar Patterson.
Yeah, and you mentioned the progressions, Tyler, and I think that's absolutely pivotal because if these teams are to meet in the playoffs, they're going to be completely different based on how these players have decided to develop themselves over the course of the season. So you miss a week, that is going to put your team at a disadvantage, especially if you face another team that is hitting all of their progressions over the course of their week.
Pocket for Patterson. It's launched, and it's deflected and incomplete, and that does it. It's finally over the Navigators, 48, Cavalry 7, and it was almost a shutout, but the Cavalry do put up a crooked number in the final frame. And the Navigators, led by Randy Squarebush, look at that rushing yard total. Holy cow, the Navigators are a fantastic ball club.
Yeah, they have. They did it rushing. They did it passing the ball as well. Really, this is a team that over the course of the season, they're going to be able to do a lot of things well. Randy Squarebush is just going to be one part of that. Gene Struthers is just going to be one part of that. Odette Boudreau, Tassie Blackwell, just one part of that. And some of these other players are going to develop, and they're going to put together nice stats as well because of the Stars carrying the load for them in Annapolis. We've run out of ways to say how dominant, how impressive they've been here right out of the gate. Week 1 is always a squirrely situation in the SFL, and sometimes it gets really squirrely, and I think that's what we saw tonight, Tyler.
And it was another fantastic ball game, all told, and it was a fantastic week of football, a good opening week of football here in the minor league. A lot of teams play. We got to see a lot of faces. Indeed, we got to see a lot of faces here in this ball game. Out of the players that we haven't seen a whole lot of, some of the new faces, Josh, that you've seen, who is your player of the game from those players?
One of the players that we haven't seen before, I was really impressed with Gus Scott. I'm not sure he's going to have the stat line to merit player of the game consideration. But I thought he really did a nice job in making himself an available target, a reliable target for Scar Patterson. And if he didn't lead his team in receptions, he certainly came very close. And I think he is going to be a name to watch, not just for Ottawa and not just for SFLm fans, but I also think for SFL GMs as the season continues. He's going to be a guy that makes whatever offense he's in a lot better, whether that's here or in the majors.
Over-under win totals for both clubs here, Josh, real quick.
Oh, that's tough to say. I think Annapolis, the sky's the limit. I mean, you can look at the way they played. I mean, how do you not suggest that they couldn't run the table? And as for Ottawa, I think they've got a chance to put together a 5 or 6 win season if they can get some drives together going on the offensive side and maybe shore up the run defense a little bit. I think that's in reach for them.
Player of the game, as chosen by the pundits, was Randy Squarebush. 24 attempts, 241 yards, and 3 touchdowns. He does get his hat trick. And Randy Squarebush, player of the game here in week 1, and might be player of the week in SFLm Season 4, Week 1. So for Josh Circle, Cameron Irvine, I've been Tyler Falk. Thanks for sticking with us here in Annapolis, Maryland. We'll see you next Thursday for Week 2 of the SFLm action in Season 4. And until then, enjoy Wildcard Weekend. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, ladies and gentlemen.